Just kneeling for that time, I feel so humbled, and I'm thinking too in your heart, in your soul, you're feeling that humility of the cross. The opening prayer said that God has given us an example of humility. That seems to be what today is all about. Humility, that we can follow in that humility. And Jesus teaches us, if you want to be the greatest, you have to become the most humble. If you want to be the leader, you have to become the servant of all. And then in the second reading today, it talks about Jesus, who for all eternity is in the form of God and is with God, but he empties himself to come to us. And he humbles himself so much that he's obedient even unto death. And that's what we see today, that example of humility going even to the cross, even dying for us. And then the second reading in Philippians says, but God, since Jesus did that, has raised him up and given him a name above every other name, that at the name of Jesus, every knee shall bow and every tongue confess that he is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. So our way is a way of humility. And we know from Mary's Magnificat that Jesus cast down the mighty from their thrones, and he has lifted up the lowly. So today we look for that example of lowliness, and nothing signals humility more than when we began the Mass and the deacon was reading the gospel in the back of the church, we began to talk about a donkey. Is there anything more humble than a donkey, right? And the words Jesus says to his disciples, if anyone asks you what you're doing untethering the donkey, tell them the master has need of it. The master has need of that humility. And today, our example is the humble animal, the humble donkey that carries Jesus into the city. And what's going to carry Jesus into our hearts, that city of our hearts, is that humility. What's going to carry us into the heavenly kingdom is walking in the way of Christ, in the way of the cross. And so as we look at that phrase, the master has need of it, because the disciples were questioned. They just said, what are you doing? So just again, we hear that phrase, the master has need of it. As we humble ourselves, and each one of us humbles ourselves, I want you to hear that phrase spoken in your heart, in your mind. The master has need of you. God needs you to do what God plans to do in this whole universe. You're a part of that work. You may be a humble part, but it can't get done without you. The master needs you. That should be our motto through the whole year. God needs you to participate and cooperate in the work of God. And so, what can we offer to God? Some of you are smart. The master has need of it. Some of you are good with people. The master has need of it. Some of you are good with children. The master has need of it. We're not just using our gifts anymore for our own advancement, for our own purposes, for our own good. Now we keep hearing that phrase, the master has need of it. How much more humble than to look at that humble animal and think, yeah, God does need me. You might be a great teacher. The master has need of it. You might have sympathy for the poor. The master has need of it. You might be good at whatever it is you do in your business. You might be good at making money. The master has need of it. Nothing is for our own career anymore. Nothing is for our own advancement anymore. Nothing is just us doing it. Now, everything has changed. Everything in our life has changed. Everything we do, we can offer to Christ in service. The other thing we learn about the donkey is that they untethered it, which means Jesus didn't want the donkey for servitude as much as Jesus wanted to liberate the donkey. So as we look at that example of humility, we too can be liberated. And that's what we've been doing all of Lent. Lent is a time of liberation, of setting us free. We fast certain foods, certain drinks, certain things that we like to do, and we give up those things of the world. And so now we are untied from the goods of this earth. We are untied from our pride, untied from just our pleasure or all those things that are here for this world only. We are untied from that petty ego, that petty, reputation that we want to hold on to, or the power, or any of the things, the honor that this world offers. We're free. We've been set free, and now we hear those words. Freed and untethered, the Master has need of you and me and all of us. Let us offer our hearts and our lives in the service of the Master. Let him enter into the holy city of our own hearts. This is our Holy Week faith. God doing a great work in each one of us because the Master has need of you. That's our faith. And what a wonderful faith we have.